So the sessions that we watched this week were very similar to what I've seen in sessions in real life. So they didn't, nothing really, it was what I imagined a counseling session would be like. I've gotten to see counseling sessions throughout my internship as an undergraduate. So I got to see several different people, different takes in the place that I was at, and then also I've gone to counseling several times throughout life. So I've been like a client in situations and seen how counselors interact, and what I saw was very similar to everything I've seen everyone do. So I will say that I noticed several things about the skills of counseling. First of all, the purpose is very obviously to get the client to buy in to the fact that they can trust the counselor and that the counselor can really understand where they're coming from. And it's also, the skills of counseling are very important because they allow the counselor to establish a foundation of understanding of who the client is. And so it's a two-way thing, and I thought that was really interesting to really get to focus on both. I've felt what it's like to be the client, and now I'm focusing on what it will be like to be the counselor. That was really fun. There were a couple of things that I would notice that I'd like to talk about and touch on. The first thing that I noticed that was like really important is that body language and eye contact seem to be very pivotal to, at least they all had really good body orientation toward the client and eye contact. Eye contact specifically is something hard for me because I find that when I'm listening to someone, I'll look off in the distance at something like solid to like, I'll focus on that thing while I'm thinking about what they're saying and processing it. And it seems like I could do a better job of gaining the client's trust if I could maintain eye contact, at least to a decent level while they're talking and I'm talking to them. That's something, it's a goal that I have for myself, even just interpersonally, as I'm seeking to become a counselor. And then lastly, in the invitational skills video, it was the female counselor and the male client, and he was talking about the fear he's had since the accident he was in. And this one, I was struck by several things, but the one I want to talk about is when he had that overwhelming emotion for a moment, she stayed very resolute in the way she was seeing the situation. You could tell she felt compassionate for him in that moment. Whenever he kind of like bends over to like think about how fearful he'd been, but she was really still in control of her reaction to him. She didn't get like, oh, you poor thing. She wasn't feeling pity toward him, just compassion. And I feel like it's important for me as a counselor to control my reactions to strong emotions whenever a client has strong emotions, because I would imagine that happens often, and I can't go there with them, but I can empathize with where they're at and then try to see the bigger picture. And that's all. Have a good day.